Okay, I've been giving you dozens of examples from my work. It's kind of better if I also worked with an example from here. And we're going to turn off the cameras in a second. You can keep the cameras on. I'll see them in a second. But what I'd like to do is we're going to put off the cameras, and they're going to take still photographs, but that will just be like, they won't mean anything. It'll just be because what I'm going to do is I want to show you a process that is very visual. And what I need is somebody who's willing to just, all you have to do is, you can hide behind the lectern. You can hide back here. You don't even have to, whatever. I just need you to tell us a story about a particularly difficult child that you're working with, and you will have answers. This will at least get you thinking about the child in a positive way and hopefully moving towards some possible solutions for the case. We're going to do this in a disguised way too. We're going to ask that you not tell us the name of the child, obviously. We're going to not ask you to identify the community that the child's from, obviously. We're going to ask you to disguise what the parents do. We're going to ask you to disguise a few details like that, so they're, a little bit more privacy. And of course, we're going to ask you finally that you not talk. No one is going to be able to talk about this case outside of here, but you can talk about the process you're about to see. So with that big preamble, let's take a second. Somebody have a case that you'd like to get a little consult on? Try. Honestly, I do this in a very gentle way. It won't be embarrassing. I guarantee you won't be embarrassed. You can hide as far off stage as you want. But just before I'm just going to see if you get a couple. Can you just? All I need to know is the. Actually, at this point, I will ask the cameras to come down. My apologies. Thank you very much.
With a lot of the stuff that we've been finding, like with that young boy there now, how he's divided the home life with the school. All this resilience stuff is that, where is the relevance to it? So if he's going to do his schooling and go back onto country, you need to make the connection between country with the education thing.
I agree.
If he's going to go and get an A or a B in that thing, why is he getting it? If he's going to go back on country and live out the rest of his years, you have to find the relevance in the first place, or set a goal with the boy, an individual goal, to see what he wants to achieve first, and then you can start individual setting his plans to what he wants to be when he leaves school in the first place. So I'd say, before you think, you probably have to chat with the boy to see what his needs are and what he wants to be when he leaves school. So then you start putting structures around the boy to support him with his life choices.
Sure. Great comment.
That just needs to be in the community as well, because when they get a senior certificate or whatever, the jobs are very limited in communities.
Yes.
And people want to go back there. So things basically need to change in the communities as well. To actually have jobs available for them. They're having aspirations, and there's nothing there for you
Sure.
to go to.
Great.
And for young Indigenous people, it's hard to get a job when you're competing with people who speak South Australian English and are already competent living in a mainstream society.
Yeah.
So if you don't get jobs in mainstream society is another issue as well.
Thanks for that. I'm just gonna pause there, just because just to sort of let you. We're gonna move into. I just want to comment a little bit on the process you just saw. Now we're into have you noticed the conversation is not about this kid needs to have a learning support, a very simplistic solution. Have you noticed the conversation has gone now into culture, legacy, history, schooling of the grandparents, jobs, future linking, cultural, have you noticed the conversation just grew? And that's what the purpose was. Is that suddenly the solution to this kid, if you're it's so easy as workers to go, Okay, I've got to get him maybe playing AFL on weekends more. It's not enough. It's about, inviting grandfather to stay in the community for a week, maybe giving iPads, create a video thing, making sure that he understands if he stays in school, what jobs. For instance, one of the things I would say is, do you guys as workers routinely take these kids and get them internships when they're in high school? Do they actually work someplace to connect their skills to the community right away? Are they actually experiencing what it's like to be on the job? In an employment, in something that they find kind of neat, not like a crappy job, but like something kind of neat. Like, do they shadow somebody in a business? Like, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about really making it relevant. And I agree, all the cultural stuff. How do we make it useful to him? I can think of some examples I've had from my own country, but that's not really the point here. So that's what the process is about. You can do this, by the way, in case conferences with 2 markers and a big sheet of what do you call it, butcher block paper or whatever you call it, right? You can do that. The series of questions I was asking, did you notice I kept, Richard, by the way, thank you for letting me do that. I know I'm a bit of a pushy presenter sometimes. I kept pushing you to, every time, if we went to the level of our perspective, I went, I'm not really that interested. I want to know from the perspective of the boy. Did you notice I kept doing that? And I wouldn't let it get up to the theoretical level. Have you noticed every time one of you has sort of said, well, it's a big conceptual whatever, have you noticed I kept bringing it up? Okay, so hang on a minute. What would it actually look like if you were going to fix it? And that's usually the magic of when you actually get to say systems have to change. But governments are much more likely to change systems effectively if they have some guidance on what it actually looks like. And that's really where we're going with this. The next phase of this is I'd actually like to look for some wonderful examples, which we've already started to do in your workplaces, and to generate some systemic solutions to these particular problems from this frame of reference of getting kids those 9 things. This was about taking a boy named Peter, helping him to find the 9 things in complex systems. That's all I just did for the last hour.